Hello everybody, I'm SnipingIsFun, and in today's video I'm going to bring you guys my review, my thoughts, my opinion on Nintendo's 2010 E3 conference, which was earlier today. And based off what I've seen, it was actually a pretty good conference, pretty great conference actually. All they did basically was go from game to game to game, talking about the 3DS in between and games for that. Even though they didn't really show the games, they basically just hinted at some stuff and showed a list. I think somewhere on the internet there was one, and that's all they did. They didn't stop talking about they didn't show charts. Basically, they talked about 5 to 10 minutes of their conference on basically on just how well they were doing and what they were planning on doing in the future. But that was about it. And they basically just showed from game to game, talking and everything. And I didn't really see Microsoft's conference yesterday, which supposedly was on Spike TV. Supposedly Microsoft got Spike TV this year. But I did see parts of it on YouTube. I seen parts of Kinect, and I seen the Star Wars trailer, and I think I heard about some other stuff like the Metal Gear ride and whatnot, stuff like that. And I've heard people say that conference sucked or so. I mean, I didn't really see the entire thing, so I can't really say much, but basically that is. And based off what I've seen about Nintendo, it was great. So in my opinion, I think Nintendo beats Microsoft's conference. I didn't watch Sony's, though. I left right after. I watched a little bit when they were talking after the Nintendo conference, but I didn't watch Sony's, though. I'm going to go later on today and watch some of it on YouTube and see. But I'm sure either it'll defeat Sony or it'll be about neck and neck almost. But on to Nintendo's conference, though. The first game they showed off was the new Legend of Zelda game. And it's called The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And it uses Motion Plus. Basically, you use the nunchuck as a shield, and you use the Wii Remote with Motion Plus as a sword, and it pretty much follows what you do, almost. And there's new items. There's like a robotic bug you can control, which picks up items. You could use a whip now. You can... there's this bow and arrow, there's the bombs, and there's all the other items. And one thing I've heard people complain about this morning when I was on IGN, people are complaining about the graphics of the game. I mean, it's kind of like this. The graphics are Wind Waker, cel-shaded, kiddie-ish, chibi art style, cartoonish, with a realistic style like Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess fused together, and there you go. It's a cel-shaded, but in a realistic look. Think about like Red Steel 2. That's what I'd say. Think about Red Steel 2. That's similar to that. I mean, I'm not saying the graphics are perfect, and the game's not coming out until 2011. I do think the art style is pretty good, though. And it's not coming out to 2011 now. It's not going to be a fall 2010. It's going to be, I'm sure, a winter or a spring 2011 game. That's around the time 2003 when Wind Waker came out. They could always bump it up just a little bit. I'm not saying bump it up a lot, because I actually do think it looks pretty good. I'm not complaining like these people are. And I actually think the game looks pretty fun, though. And that's my opinion on Legend of Zelda. The next game they showed was a new Mario sports game called Mario Sports Mix, which is volleyball, dodgeball, hockey, and basketball. And I don't know if there's any other sports games, but games in there. But that's the 4 they've shown, so I'm sure there's going to be those 4. I don't know, there might be 1 or 2 more, I don't know. Unless those are the only ones, I don't know. I'm sure they would have showed if it was any more. And when they were showing that it was going to be a sports game about Mario, I automatically thought it was going to be like a Mario Tennis or a Mario Golf. And it was this. And this actually might be pretty fun, though. It actually does look pretty fun. And the next game they showed was Wii Party, which is in fact Mario Party without the Mario characters. Just replace the Mario characters with Mii's. You go around the game board, you do mini games, and besides just that, there's other types of games you can do out of the game board thing. And I actually think that's gonna be pretty fun. Actually, people are complaining, saying, "Oh, this is like 2010's Wii music and all that stuff." They only talked about it for like 10-15 minutes. They showed a few scenes. They talked about it for a little while. It wasn't that much, and it actually does look like quite a fun game. And I still don't understand why people are complaining about Wii music. I actually thought the game was quite fun. Not the best game in the world, and not the best in the Wii series. I still think Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort is the best. But I did think Wii music was fun for what it was, though. And that's all I'm saying. People stop complaining. I think Wii Party is going to be pretty fun, actually. And then the next game they showed was the sequel to Just Dance 2. And you see my review on that. I thought the game was fun, especially if you're playing with other people. but there was a lack of depth to the game. All it was just doing dancing, or doing dancing in minigame type form, like doing little minigame type things. I hope this game has more depth to it, like a lot more songs and more to do than just playing songs. Maybe like unlocking songs or doing a little career or something. I just hope that's it. But it might be fun, I don't know, I'll have to see. Then the next game they showed was the next Golden Sun game, the one that's coming out on the DS that they showed last year, and it's called Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Now, I've never played much Golden Sun, actually. I did used to have the original on the Game Boy Advance, and I played a little bit of it, but I sold it. But I did have fun with it, and never seen this. You know, I might go back and try to go to GameStop and buy used copies of 1 and 2, and then play this, because I do think it's a pretty good RPG series, actually. Then the next game they showed was GoldenEye 007 on the Wii, the remake. It was you consider it a remake, you consider it's remade, redone, whatever. It's basically GoldenEye 007, the movie that came out years ago with Pierce Brosnan in it, but take Pierce Brosnan out and put in Daniel Craig instead, the new James Bond. And slightly fix up the story a little bit. It's going to have offline multiplayer, online multiplayer. It's going to have about 8 classic Bond characters, which they showed 3 of them, Oddjob and Jaws, and I forgot the other guy's name. I can't remember his name. And I'm sure they're going to have Dr. No. They might have Pierce Brosnan. I think they're going to probably have Pierce Brosnan's James Bond character, and a few other people as well. And actually quite fun, and it's going to be probably a good first-person shooter game coming out at the end of this year. It looks fun. Then they showed Disney's Epic Mickey. And I think the game's going to be fun. It looks like it's a good game. It has side-scrolling, and it has 3D gameplay. It looks like it's more interesting than people are saying it's going to be. People are like complaining about that game, probably saying it's not going to be good. But I think the game's going to be fun, and we'll see where it goes from there. Then they showed that there's a new Kirby game coming out on Nintendo Wii. Kirby's Epic Yarn, which is basically, the characters are made out of yarn in a way, and it's like a 2D Kirby game in the way of the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, and the ones that showed up on the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, and